Hi. Guess who?
What's up with your face? We're back. And we're going to call this video, Don't Pull a Sherry. One of our clients said that. She thought it was funny. My ego didn't like it.
Hi, Vera.
Oh yeah, hi.
Sorry.
We had to do that shout out. It was important. So we're talking today about patience or impatience. And it really stems on when there is a coming together of a relationship or union or a reunion, or what's the other word I'm looking for?
Connection.
Connection. You look like Mike when you did that just now.
He does make that face. I think
He
gets
really
it from
does.
The dog, Mike.
Reconnection, too. Well, if you've been in a relationship and you have disconnected physically and you reconnect and come together, then what happens is this. And if you've seen our videos, and I know all of you have, all of them have. Okay, some of them haven't. But you'll know that I was impatient a couple of times.
No. No, not you.
I was. And what happens is we get through so much stuff, so much crap. And we overcome obstacles and overcome obstacles and overcome obstacles, and we climb mountains and we go through valleys, and we finally find ourselves back in contact or back in a relationship, or finally trying to come into union. And then everything seems to be great and fine, and you're building a friendship, which is very important, to build that friendship. Learn to trust one another. Learn about each other. Whether you've been together 20 years and have separated, or whether you've been together a year and have separated. You come back together, whether you just learned to be with each other for the first time. Then what happens is, and I've noticed that the majority, and I say majority because it's not, I would say 90% of it, is normally the feminine energy. I'm not saying that the masculine energy doesn't get impatient, because they do. However, it seems to be very prominent amongst the female energy. And what happens is, okay, he's calling, he's come back around, or she's calling, she's come back around. Let's just say they're calling, they come back around. Oh, this is amazing. I can't believe they're back in my life. I can't believe finally we've reconnected, or I can't believe I've met this person. They're wonderful. They're amazing. They're everything I've dreamed of. And instead of taking that breath and enjoying the present moment and just being in the present moment and enjoying those amazing moments, we want the house, the car, the kids, the dog, the fence. And we want it now. And we do unthinkable things to get it. And first and foremost, we push, or we manipulate, and we say things, and we create scenarios, we create dramas, to get us to that place, instead of letting the universe step in and make things happen naturally and normally, which it's going to anyway, we want to push. And the first perfect example we have is when Lee and I met in 2005. And if you've seen our videos, you know what I'm talking about. And we had this amazing connection that was supernatural, unworldly, out of this world. We could look at each other's eyes, we could see in each other, and we just laid for hours and kissed and held each other and looked at each other's eyes, and it was beautiful. Wasn't it? It still is. It still happens. But it took a minute to get there because I was impatient. But really, the gang signs?
Sorry. Chris, so. Stop that.
Anyway, really. So what happened was, put the gang sign down, Lee. Lee and I weren't sleeping together yet, or we weren't being intimate, I guess I should say. And this went on for months. And I wanted it to go to the next level. I didn't even know what the next level was, but I was seriously ready for the house and the car and the kids and the dog. But I knew that the first step was being intimate, at least for me. And, so many things went through my head why we weren't being intimate. And I won't even say what they were, but they were crazy things. And so I applied some pressure to him. I would get him at weak moments when we were kissing and say things or touch things and try to pressure him to go to the next level, and really couldn't understand why it wasn't happening. And then finally it happened, and I did put enough pressure on it and pushed it, and it happened. And when I couldn't get him out the door fast enough, and he couldn't leave fast enough. And when he got in his car and he left, and I was looking through the blinds, I knew I would never see him again. I knew he was gone. It had changed things. A lot of things, right?
Yes, you injected a thought process into the space of being free and feeling something that was so magical, and you made it something cheap and meaningless. I felt betrayed.
Is that you or your ego talking?
I'm trying to get some sympathy. This is when everybody goes, oh.
Really? All the guys are going, really?
I was taken advantage of.
Whatever.
I was just a piece of meat to you.
Oh my God. Nobody's buying that. Nobody's buying that.
You just wanted me for my body. You just wanted sex, and then you wanted me gone. I didn't even get cab fare.
You had a car.
They don't know that.
I just told them.
God. The nerve.
Okay, so why Lee's back here in his ego? We're gonna say that it was the impatience. I didn't hear from Lee for 2 years. 2 years, and in which I got engaged to somebody else, and well, most of you know the story. So it was the what pushed you away?
The significant change in your energy. It didn't want to be in the same space anymore of being free, of looking at me, of looking into me, and of me feeling at home. You took away home. And when you take away home, you didn't share why you were taking it away. You just took it away. It was no different than any form of abandonment or rejection. It was the same.
what what happened was, I was impatient and wouldn't let myself enjoy the moments that we were in, because the moments were taken over by, how am I going to get this to the next level? How am I going to take it to the next level? How am I going to break him and get him to go to the next level? And in turn, I was seriously missing those moments. I was engulfed in a mind process. And are you back there looking sad? Oh, I thought you were back there looking sad. And then a few years later, it happened again. It happened again where Lee and I had disconnected physically, and it was after that we really got together. We were able to start being in one another's lives, and I was spending time with him, and we were spending time together. And of course, we had moved that level up, but then it wasn't good enough for me. I was ready to have the house and the yard and the dogs and the pool and the material possessions that go along with such things. I needed to cement our relationship. I needed to take it to the next level. And I wanted to move into this home that we had found. And instead of really doing what we had planned to do, which was move out of my home and into a home of ours, which is what we were doing. We were looking to move anyway. We were looking for homes to live in. But we had went through this home, and I wanted it. I wanted this home, and I wanted Lee in this home with me and our kids. And it was really out of our price range, but it didn't matter to me. I wanted it, and I wanted it now. I was impatient. I would not allow the universe to do what it was supposed to do. I was playing God. I was wanting everything, and I was wanting it now. And if you watch our videos, you'll know that this is the house where the bad checks were written for us to live in there, and then a few months later, it crumbled at my feet, and he was gone again. You think that would have been my second clue? To stop trying to push things to the level that I wanted it to be and let things go naturally. And we find that when, especially when we're separated from somebody physically that we really want to be with, and they come back into our lives, we find ourselves pushing the envelope to get what we want and putting pressure on top of pressure on top of pressure. And what it ends up doing is it ends up pushing them farther away.
Yes.
And we don't really see it or notice it at the time because we're just trying to get to the next level. Always trying to get to the next level. And really what the basis of this video is, if you just stop the expectation and stop putting pressure on yourself. You know, you may not even be putting pressure on your partner as of yet. You're built up with so much pressure inside. You want it now, and you don't know why they're hesitating. Just enjoy where you're at. Just enjoy being friends. Just enjoy being lovers, or enjoy being together. You may not even have tomorrow. All you have is now. So there's a point where you have to surrender and just allow the universe to do what it's going to do anyway. Should I had not pressured Lee into making the next move, taking the next step, that first time, it would have happened anyway. It may have been 5 weeks or 5 months or 5 days, but it would have progressed normally and naturally, and we may not have had to go through these 9 years of hell.
They weren't hell.
Well, some people see it as hell. We don't see it as hell.
Well, if we didn't go through it, we wouldn't be able to be here now to show them how to do it.
Right.
There's something magical in this. Isn't that we're pointing to the part of you that is the inspecting expectation. You will inspect another person's behavior. You will inspect what their nature is of why they're connected to you. You will inspect all of these things and never really even see the truth of what you're doing by creating a separate thought process that you keep from them for them to run from you, or for you to have reasons to run from yourself. So I guess impatience creates this very place. It creates a space for you to have a relationship in your head with another person and expects them to live up to those expectations that you placed on them without them knowing. If you find yourself going, am I doing that? Well, there's your first clue. If you're asking yourself, am I doing that? Then the answer is usually going to be yes. You're living out a relationship and you're looking at their behavior, saying their behavior doesn't represent what I need right now for this moment, and I've got to find a way to manipulate or might find a way to make that happen. Don't do it. You will not have a successful union. Let me say that right. U-N-I-on. U-N-I-on. Meaning you and I on the same page. Union. Get it? You have to be on the same page. If you have a separate thought process, accept the cycle to return, accept the same behaviors to return, expect the same thing. And if you're not even talking to the person you feel connected to, first clue, your thought process is keeping you from your truth. Fix it. Without the expectations. Expectations are a form of ego that are going to are forged in destiny to make you right about being wrong. And wrong about being right. Sorry, go ahead.
Don't allow your impatience to bring you to a place of depression, anxiety, hurt, fear, any of those places, and it will. Why am I doing all the moving? Why aren't they doing anything? Why has it taken him or her 30 minutes to text me back, or 3 days to text me back? Waiting by the phone. Why? Why won't you text me back? Text me back. You get so frustrated in between messages and in between phone calls, and they're not responding to me fast enough, and they're not making me a priority, and they're not catering to my every need. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to have babies and get married, and I'm ready to move in. And that's usually the first step that we try to manipulate our way into, is cohabitating. And there's just so much pressure involved. Okay, let's do it. Let's just do it. And I remember, right, that I had manipulated so many words to say, this is right, I feel it, this is right, this is our house, this is great. And you weren't so sure. And you went out there, and I had called you, I said, where are you at? I think we had gotten an argument or something. I said, where are you at? And you said, I'm out here at the house. I'm out here on the deck, and I'm just trying to connect with this place. I'm just trying to see if this is right. and I feel that it's right. Knowing inside of me that it wasn't right. I knew inside of me that it wasn't right. I knew that this was going to be all bad. I knew it. But I was ready to go. I was ready to go. And what I thought I was going to do was just be in the moment and just spend those few nights with him that I knew we were going to spend in peace and just have a blast. And it lasted longer than I thought it would, but it never rang true, because every night when I laid down to bed, I knew what I had done to get us there, and I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to crash. So it literally took me out of the moment and into daily fear. Daily fear, where I wasn't able to enjoy any of the moments anyhow, because I was
There's a lot of fighting created.
a lot of arguing, because I was constantly on edge and fear, ready for the ball to drop at any moment.
Oh, don't worry. Impatient behavior causes that. So if you have worry and fear, oh, they're going to leave me, Well, why are you impatient? Impatience creates it.
It's happening more often than not. We meet somebody, we connect, we fall in love, and we're ready to go. Tomorrow, next week, let's go. And there's no friend foundation, there's no foundation.
Oof. What's a foundation in that? Oh. No, there's no foundation. No,
You can't find
try.
it.
Can't see one. No. Yeah. No.
It happens more often when there's a reconnection of a relationship or a union that hasn't been a physical relationship or reunion for a while. When there's a reconnection, we're talking, we're emailing, we're messaging it, and then, so why won't they call me? We've been messaging for a week. Why won't they call me? And I haven't heard from him for 4 hours. Then yesterday it was 8 hours, and tomorrow it's going to be 16 hours, and then the next day we're never going to talk again. The energy that you are projecting is an impatient energy, and if you're connected, then that other person's feeling that. That would be a cause for the running. Running. Not running. Where we're from, it's called running.
Can't be a standstiller in that.
You really can't. Running. As fast as you can. Gone. Gone. I haven't heard from him in 7 days. Well, what were you saying? What kind of things were you saying to them? And it all stems from, I want it all and I want it now. And I just sounded like the J.G. Wentworth commercial. It's my money and I want it now.
He's my connected soul, and I want him now.
Now, yes. She's mine and I want her now.
Well, be connected. Stay in the moment. Don't lose patience. If you decide to go off on your own path, and then you're waiting for them to catch up, that would be cause for impatience, because you're expecting them to read your mind. You're expecting them to read your energy, but you're not paying attention to what your energy is saying if you become impatient. When you're impatient, your energy shows a lot different kind of message than you intend for them to feel. They're going to feel uncomfortable they're going to feel like you're hiding something, which in most cases, it's the truth. You are hiding something.
Insecurity. That's what it normally is, right? Insecurity. I gotta get my hook in them. I gotta get my hook in them before they leave. Before they realize who I am. Or before they realize that I've got some secrets.
The worst form of security is being insecurity. That was awesome. That was genius.
Did you just come up with
That cracked me up. No,
Well, that was
we
good.
just happened to watch a lot of it. We go, oh yeah, no, don't worry. This is secure. This is secure. Oh, this is going to be very insecure to watch.
Disastrous.
Yes. Do not make communication and connection into a problem by keeping something inside that you are going to be impatient about. Remove the expectation of not being in the present moment.
Well, how do I do that? How do I just sit and be patient? Well, I'm going to tell you how you do it. Because there was a point in time in my life, and if you watched our videos, you'll know what I'm talking about, where I had to sit in a particular area for a long period of time, and I had no control over when the hell I was leaving.
We got a post about that, actually.
We did?
Oh my God, you wrote that blog you wrote.
Oh, yeah.
Patience.
The patience
Oh,
blog.
don't worry. That will be attached to this.
Yeah,
somehow.
we'll attach to that. There's a
My God, it was powerful.
there's something that happens to you when you have no control over anything that happens in your life. And this-
Waiting, especially.
waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and 6 months goes by and you're waiting, and 7 months goes by and you're waiting, and it's coming up on a year and you're still waiting. And there comes a place in you that you come to acceptance. And it happened to me where I knew that being impatient was only keeping me in distress and in anxiety and complete stress. So at that point in time, I said, you know what? I'm not going to be impatient anymore. I'm going on with my life, and I'm going to do some stuff around here. I'm going to change some shit around here. So I started classes. I started a newspaper. I was teaching chakra classes. I was teaching all kinds of classes. I just began to teach. And the next thing you know, it was 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months gone. And I wasn't sitting worrying about when the hell I was going to be home. And then the day came and I came home.
I think in that you gave new meaning to if you can't change the people around you, you change the people around you. Because the energy changed. She changed the energy around her. She changed the energy that would come to her. It's the thing about removing patience or letting go of patience or impatience as an energy form. You find something else to do.
We find that in the real world, we get so impatient for so many things. Payday doesn't come soon enough. So we go get a payday loan. And now we're in debt because we couldn't wait for a few days for things. We find in so many circumstances that we get impatient waiting in the grocery store line. Or
I watched that tonight.
what?
I watched it was when I went to the store when you guys were doing what you're doing. And there was a line at the cash register at the grocery store. And this guy came in, and there was this other guy ahead of him, and he was checking out. and the cashier was doing something, and the machine just stopped working. So the guy who was ahead of me had a cart full of stuff, and looked back at me, and he's like, oh, "You gotta be kidding." I said, "No, it's cool." And I was looking over, and all the lanes were full. So the guy was calling for assistance, and the two girls up at the front thing started talking to each other. And this guy, I could start feeling his energy change. I knew he was getting more and more impatient, like he had someplace to be. And you could feel that the cashier could feel you could feel this energy coming from him too. So I started talking, cracking jokes, trying to lighten the mood. And he kind of chimed in and started lightening the mood too. But it was interesting because I think if I had not said something, he was ready to drop that cart and be gone. And I brought up something like, it always seems like when you got to be someplace, something happens to kind of stop you. And I said, the other day this happened to my wife, my soon-to-be wife, and she was actually going down the road, and she dropped something, so she had to slow down just a little bit, and she reached down and grabbed something. But had she had gone straight, a few more seconds more, she would have been T-boned in an intersection. Sometimes when something makes you stop, you just kind of have to laugh and go, wow, if that didn't happen, that's not going to change everything. So when we become impatient, we don't realize that we're heading for a train wreck. When by design, nature is always patient, doesn't know what impatience is. In that particular case, she said, man, I'm glad I was patient, reached down and stopped to get it then. I was thinking I would get to the light and do it, but I just decided, you know what, I'm not in a hurry. And go ahead and do this now. There was
Yeah, I
nobody
had to
behind you.
pull over because the drinks had fallen.
Yeah. And nobody.
Yeah,
and there was nobody behind
the
us.
fountain drinks had fallen into the floor.
For
and-
no apparent reason.
Yeah. I wasn't driving fast or anything. They just fell into the floor. They had lids on them, which was fine. But I'm thinking, man, they're just gonna pour out. So I pulled over, and
You had camera.
yeah, and I lifted them up, and put them back, and took back off again. I was, maybe 10 seconds, I wasn't very long. And pulled back off, and not the car ahead of me, but the car ahead of that got T-boned. And I was like, whoa. I was there. That's where I was. And I just shook my head. Like, wow, that just happened. And it happens so often. We're stuck in traffic and people are beeping their horns. What's that going to do? Make traffic go? I don't understand that. Why do you beep the horn? Answer that in comments below. Why? If the interstate's a parking lot, what is beeping the horn going to do? I don't get that. Is it going to make it go?
No, but it's like what we do at the bank. We keep looking at each teller, waiting for the next person to be done, and there's always that one person who wants to stand there and talk for a little bit, and we just keep doing it. We get impatient.
We get very impatient.
But we're taught impatience.
We are.
We didn't know what impatient was. We've all been taught it, and it's something we have to kind of go, you know what? I can either be patient or I can be impatient. And if I'm not getting my expectations met, know that you're impatient. It's that simple.
It is. And if you find yourself that you're in this situation where you're being impatient, stop and recognize that there's something to be learned in that moment. And enjoy where you're at. If you're stuck on the interstate and you're in a parking lot, turn the radio on and listen to a great song or two, or 5, depending on how long the damn interstate's gonna be backed up. Find something that brings you peace and is gonna make you understand that there is a reason for this delay. And we all get in hurries, and especially when it comes to relationships and unions, and don't be in such a hurry. Let it happen naturally and on its own. And the energy that you're putting out, that impatient energy that's cringing, you want it and you want it now. That's the energy that you're projecting into your partner, and they feel that. And it was the downfall many times in our journey that impatience was involved.
Don't pull a Sherry.
Don't pull a Sherry.
Don't. I'm just saying. Because she named this video that, I'm allowed to say it.
Don't
So just
pull a Sherry.
don't pull a Sherry.
That's it. Just don't pull a Sherry.
At all.
No, don't.
One last thing.
One thing.
One more last thing.
Yeah.
Stay connected. Enjoy the moments of connection
That you're in.
that you're in. Don't expect greater expectations, and don't keep it hidden. Share. Be on the same page. You and I on the same page. Union. Ta-da. We love you.
Be patient. It's coming. Don't bullshit.